Hello, students. Welcome to Reader's Workshop. Today we're going to continue enjoying a few more Dr. Seuss stories, but before we start, I want to show something to you. So I think it's really important for readers, even in first grade, to not just read books and enjoy books. I want them to learn about authors also, right? So what we're going to look at today is talking about Dr. Seuss. This is Dr. Seuss. He wrote and illustrated 45 books. When you pick up a book, how can you tell he wrote it? So there are some characteristics that are common in many Dr. Seuss books, and we're going to talk about those today. And then I want you to pay close attention to see if you notice those things in the books we read or maybe the Dr. Seuss you read at home. And here it's very cute on the front. It looks like the cat in the hat has a think bubble, and he's thinking. You can look on the cover. His name is right there. Then open the book. You'll find clues everywhere, right? Clues about how it's a Dr. Seuss book. So here we go. How can you tell it's Dr. Seuss? I'm going to fold this so we look at each section. It says, if you want to know if a book is by Dr. Seuss, here are some things to look for. Okay, so first, it says, look for silly characters. His characters have a look. Many of them have big bellies and scraggly fur. Many of them have a black outline. Many of them are made-up creatures. And here you can see the Grinch, the Lorax, and from Hop on Pop. Okay, next. This is from Green Eggs and Ham. It says, look for zany stories. Dr. Seuss wrote fiction. Fiction is made up. The fiction of Dr. Seuss is really wild. Events happen that would never happen in real life. And the next clue that it's Dr. Seuss is, look for wacky machines. Dr. Seuss drew machines with gears, hooks, handles, and cranks. Some have hands and legs. His vehicles often have extra wheels and propellers. Okay, and finally, something I think you all already knew for sure. Look for funny rhymes. Many of his books rhyme. Those rhymes make us laugh. They are surprising. He often put more than one rhyme in a sentence. So this is from One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. My shoe is off, my foot is cold. I have a bird I like to hold. Right? And then along the bottom, there's a fifth way to know. It says, look for made-up words. Yes, that's one I've mentioned to you before. Let's get a little close up here so we can read it. It says, Dr. Seuss had a lot of fun with his writing. He made up many words and names. Do you think these made-up words look like their pictures? This is a zizzer zazzer zuzz. So that's a made-up creature with a made-up name. These are called goo goo goggles, and this creature is a Gritch. That kind of bird-like creature is a Gritch. And one more fun characteristic, look at the eyes. All the eyes he drew had U-shaped pupils. So the pupil is the black part of the eyes, and in this case it's saying he drew them like a U. So, as we read today, I want you to keep a lookout for some of these characteristics. And then when we talk today, I'll look forward to seeing if you can remember and remind us about where we've seen some of these characteristics in today's story or in some of the other stories. So, today we're going to enjoy another story from Yertle the Turtle, and that story is called Gertrude McFuzz. Gertrude McFuzz. Here we go. Okay, so Gertrude looks like a kind of a bird, and it looks like she has a little green tail feather, but she's looking over here at a bird with more feathers. Ooh, I wonder, she doesn't look very happy. Let's see. There once was a girl bird named Gertrude McFuzz, and she had the smallest plain tail ever was. One droopy droop feather, that's all that she had. And oh, that one feather made Gertrude so sad. For there was another young bird that she knew, a fancy young birdie named Lollaliloo, and instead of one feather behind, she had two. Poor Gertrude, whenever she happened to spy Miss Lollaliloo flying by in the sky, she got very jealous. She frowned and she pouted. Then one day she got awfully mad, and she shouted, "This just isn't fair. I have one, she has two. I must have a tail just like Lollaliloo." Oh, so she's going to go talk to someone about it. So she flew to her uncle, a doctor named Dake, whose office was high in a tree by the lake. And she cried, "Uncle Doctor, oh please, do you know of some kind of pill that will make my tail grow?" "Tut, tut," said the doctor, "such talk, how absurd. Your tail is just right for your kind of bird." Then Gertrude had tantrums. She raised such a din that finally her uncle the doctor gave in. And he told her just where she could find such a pill, on a pillberry vine at the top of the hill. "Oh, thank you," chirped Gertrude McFuzz, and she flew right straight to the hill where the pillberry grew. Oh, look, wow. Yes, there was the vine, and as soon as she saw it, she plucked off a berry. She started to gnaw it. It tasted just awful, almost made her sick, but she wanted that tail, so she swallowed it quick. Then she felt something happen. She felt a small twitch, as if she'd been tapped down behind by a switch. And Gertrude looked round and she cheered. It was true. Two feathers exactly like Lollaliloo. Then she got an idea. "Now I know what I'll do. I'll grow a tail better than Lollaliloo. These pills that grow feathers are working just fine." So she nibbled another one off of the vine. I wonder if you could predict, right? Think about what's going to happen. Oh, some more tail feathers. She felt a new twitch, and then Gertrude yelled, "Whee! Miss Lala has only just two. I have three. When Lollaliloo sees this beautiful stuff, she'll fall right down flat on her face. Sure enough. I'll show her who's pretty, I certainly will. Why, I'll make my tail even prettier still." She snatched at those berries that grew on the vine. She gobbled down 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And she didn't stop eating, young Gertrude McFuzz, till she'd eaten 3 dozen. That's all that there was. Uh-oh. Ta-da! Wow! Then the feathers popped out with a zang, with a zing. They blossomed like flowers that bloom in the spring, all fit for a queen. What a sight to behold. They sparkled like diamonds and gumdrops and gold. Like silk, like spaghetti, like satin, like lace. They burst out like rockets all over the place. They waved in the air and they swished in the breeze, and some were as long as the branches of trees. And still they kept growing. They popped and they popped until long about sundown, when finally they stopped. "And now," giggled Gertrude, "the next thing to do is to fly right straight home and show Lollaliloo. And when Lala sees these, why, her face will get red, and she'll let out a scream and she'll fall right down dead." Oh my gosh, that's pretty extreme. Whoa. Let's see. Then she spread out her wings to take off from the ground. But with all of those feathers, she weighed 90 pounds. She yanked and she pulled and she let out a squawk. But that bird couldn't fly, couldn't run, couldn't walk. And all through that night she was stuck on that hill. And Gertrude McFuzz might be stuck up there still, if her good Uncle Dake hadn't heard the girl yelp he rushed to her rescue and brought along help. Oh, look, all the birds going to help her. To lift Gertrude up almost broke all their beaks, and to fly her back home it took almost 2 weeks. And then it took almost another week more to pull out those feathers. My, Gertrude was sore. And finally, when all of the pulling was done, Gertrude behind her again had just one. That one little feather she had as a starter. But now that's enough, because now she is smarter. So I hope you enjoyed Gertrude McFuzz. And in a minute, we'll talk about a few things. We'll talk about what was the main idea of that story and maybe what was the moral or lesson of the story. And then also, I want you to raise your hand if you have some comments. If you've noticed, if you can remind us of where we've seen some of these Dr. Seuss characteristics, either in today's book or in the other stories we've read. I'll see you in a minute.